name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful.
Take a close look. This is Medina, the city of prophetic memories. Yet beneath its calm appearance, something feels unsettled. Walking through these dusty streets is a man whose presence is more than a chapter in history. He represents a divine mission to restore human dignity. This is Hossein, son of Ali. Whenever he passes by the poor, the forgotten, and the suffering, it is as if new life flows through the city. He stands as a living symbol of freedom and integrity at a time when people are learning to stay silent in the face of oppression and trade away their values for temporary comfort. Many believe Hossein's mission was to awaken people and help them rediscover what they had lost. His message was simple but powerful. When a nation remains silent before tyranny, it gradually loses its soul. His grandfather, the Prophet Muhammad, had called him a light of guidance. And now, as darkness spreads and moral values begin to fade, Hossein becomes a beacon for those who still listen to their conscience. He is not seeking power, wealth, or fame. He offers a way of living with honor and purpose. His struggle is about freeing minds and wills from the chains of fear and oppression. Before he ever faced an enemy on the battlefield, he had already begun a revolution of awareness. Then, in the middle of Rajab in the year 60 after Hijrat, a shockwave spread across the Muslim world. Muawiyah, who had controlled power for decades through political maneuvering, died. With his death, the final illusion of the old caliphate began to disappear, and the reality of hereditary monarchy stood exposed. Taking the throne was a young ruler who represented everything Islam had originally come to challenge: Yazid. To many, Yazid symbolized the decline of moral leadership. Historical accounts describe him as a man openly associated with behavior considered contrary to human values. Despite being the caliph of the Muslim world, traditional sources portray Yazid as being addicted to wine. His excessive drinking was said to impair his judgment and self-control. Under his rule, the Umayyad system rested on three powerful tools: wealth to buy loyalty, force to silence opposition, and propaganda to justify injustice in the name of religion. Society itself was changing. Right and wrong seemed to be reversing places. Values that once guided people were becoming blurred and distorted. Yazid understood something important. His authority would never be fully accepted as long as Hossein stood against him. As long as Hossein refused to submit, Yazid's claim to legitimacy would remain incomplete. This was no longer a conflict between two individuals. It was a clash between two visions of life. One demanded unquestioning obedience to power. The other defended human dignity and moral freedom. The shadow of Yazid was growing over the Muslim world, and a defining test of history was about to begin. On a tense and anxious night, a messenger arrived in Medina from Damascus, covered in dust from a long and urgent journey. He carried a letter filled with threat and pressure. Yazid's instructions to Walid, the governor of Medina, were clear: summon Hossein immediately and demand his pledge of allegiance. No delay, no hesitation. While Medina slept peacefully, anxiety filled the governor's palace. Marwan urged Walid to act quickly and decisively before Hossein had any chance to respond on his own terms. Then came the knock on the door of Hossein's home. It was not an ordinary invitation. It marked the beginning of a confrontation between tyranny and freedom. The messenger who stood at Hossein's door believed he was delivering a political order. He did not realize that those knocks would open the door to a movement that would echo through history. At that moment, Hossein faced a choice: remain silent and preserve his safety, or speak the truth and accept the consequences. Knowing what lay ahead, Hossein first went to the resting place of his grandfather, the Prophet Muhammad. It was a deeply emotional farewell, carrying the feeling of a journey from which there would be no return. Afterward, he made his way toward the governor's palace. Members of the Banu Hashim accompanied him, discreetly carrying their weapons beneath their cloaks in case events took a dangerous turn. Long before that night arrived, he had already chosen his path, the path of truth, sacrifice, and lasting legacy.